right, welcome back to the show. Today's episode to my side here is Duncan. Duncan, say hello.
Hi, Liam. Uh, Hello, Internet. Uh, I'm Duncan. Yes. You want me to introduce myself?
Sure, you can say what you're majoring in school since we're the same age, about to graduate. Go ahead.
Yes, indeed. A stressful time to be a man in college, especially seniors. Yes, I am a
I agree.
sociology major, communications minor. Although I have not declared my minor yet, but I probably should do that
Yeah, you might want
because
to do that.
I've like 3 weeks left of school. Uh, so or maybe like four. But anyways, it's getting towards the end. And for anyone who doesn't know, sociology is kind of like the study of like human interactions and a lot of stuff like that. So,
Yeah, so do you know like what kind of jobs you're going to be like looking for? Like what that would be?
I'm right now, I can't be any less unemployed than I am right now.
Mm.
Uh, I, I have, I've looked at like intro human resource jobs, but I'm kind of iffy about human resources because I don't know if you've seen The Office, but like Toby
Yeah.
is like the most boring character from The Office and he does human resources. So, but it's like the closest thing that relates to my major. I have not applied to like anything yet. So
I've only started looking. Yeah.
at the moment, I'm just gonna go right back home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm anticipating as well. I just came back. My school has a news station, and they're looking for a new director. But since I'm about to graduate, I didn't really qualify, so that's what I went to look at earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
but one thing. So I kind of look on LinkedIn every now and then, but
Hmm.
I know they kind of just make posts and they may never get back to you. But one thing that came up for me was like Sports Illustrated social video producer,
Oh, wow.
and I
I
was
mean,
like, that's I fit that, but I'm not expecting to get that just because
mhm.
I'm young and I'm sure they're looking for people who have more experience. But we still just kind of have to send stuff out and put ourselves out there.
Yeah, I feel like that's the problem with the first year of college. You know, you still don't have that um, good enough experience to actually qualify, but you're also not experienced because you've done it like for like since you remember, you know.
Yeah,
So not like professional experience in a way, but it's
and we're in a
experience.
weird position. I mean, last year's graduating class had it bad because COVID hit, and
Hmm.
then we're the next class where we're working with the residuals of COVID. So
Yeah, exactly.
we're all none of us are in a good situation in that sense, but you know, just working with what we got.
Yep.
So I'm excited to have you on because you came up with the name Liamology.
And it's funny you say that because I actually do not remember, but I trust that you thought that I came up with it. So thank you.
You did, and I can tell you the context of how and why that came about. So for most people probably won't remember this. So we're going to talk about our social media history. Um, our intro to social media before we were kind of allowed on Facebook. A lot of all of our friends talked through Gmail, and on Gmail there was a short-lived thing called Google Buzz. That was basically just Facebook on Gmail. Do you remember anything about that?
Oh, Google Buzz was like, I thought it was the coolest platform because you could talk with your friends in your grade and you could say whatever because it's like you're hidden behind a screen. But it was like at the time, since it was like what, like 2008, 2009, when we were
Yeah, we were in like
still like,
fifth grade.
yeah, we were, the things we would say were the funniest things that we thought were mean. Like we would call each other like poopy heads and things like that.
Well, yeah, because the origin of Liamology comes from cringe. It's just that's inevitable. So what it is I made a post on Google Buzz that was something like I can't even say this with a straight face. It was like awesomeology, the study of being awesome. And then you left a comment saying Liamology, and I was like, "Oh,
The
that's
study,
catchy. That's good."
Liamology, the study of being Liam.
Exactly. And What's cool about that is so like it's I have it, it's me, and I'm sure there's other people who have come up with it and tried to like get the username, but
Hmm.
I'm the one who has it on all the big platforms like Instagram. I have it. Facebook is just like facebook.com/Liamology. I think like Facebook's kind of more private for friends and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, when you Google Liamology, I'm what comes up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
During back during our break, that's kind of something I did. I was like, let me look up my presence. Let me see if people try and look me up,
Hmm.
like what happens. And do you know Reddit? You know that website?
Yeah. Yeah. I've never had like an account, but I know what it is.
Yeah, so one thing that comes up, I think it was like the Church of Liamology, which I have nothing to do with. I have like no posts or anything on it, but it's very weird and like brutal and medieval, all the weird posts on it. So that's pretty funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, I have nothing to do with that. But
Mhm.
sometimes I'll get like tags on Instagram of people trying to tag people who are Liamology with like
Mhm.
who have numbers and like extra stuff in their usernames, but
Oh yeah.
so I'm like
Yeah.
it's not me, close but not quite.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, if you look
um,
up my name, I don't really have a specific, like a set username. Like
mhm.
I've tried looking up my full name on Google, and it's just like either some teenage model or like some old
Oh,
dude. So like I've I'm not the first um link I could say if you look me up, but
yeah,
um I
not
do
on
have
the
a
front
photo on
page of
there though.
Google.
I think I showed you this. There's a photo of me on Google Images of me dancing with a woman. Uh,
Oh, isn't
I'm
that
like,
you went on like a school trip?
yeah, I was like 14. I was horrified because I had to like wrap my legs around her legs. It was strange, and I was like distancing myself because I was like, "What's going on?" But yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Hmm.
Just just because when you Google, it's like if depending on how generic your name is, you'll either get you or you'll just get other people who have your name. So there's
Hmm.
some kid on Instagram whose name is also Liam Conley who just followed me. So we just follow each other just because we're both named Liam Conley.
That's actually really interesting. I've personally never met another Duncan that's a human. I've met
Oh,
official
wait, you
Duncan.
really haven't? Like not in person or anything like that?
Never.
Huh.
Uh, it's a little lonely, but I'm sure there's more of us out there. So
I don't
one,
think you're alone.
thank you. I appreciate
Yeah, but
it.
oh, also on TikTok, I'm Liamology, so I'm sure if people, I'll like leave random comments, people see that and they're like, "Who is that?" It's me, because
Mhm.
I'm consistent on all the platforms.
Mhm.
But yeah, you had a little stint with TikTok for a while, so you want to explain
Yeah.
like how
Yeah.
what you were doing there?
So I originally my I think my name on TikTok to begin with was just like Duncan Anderson, like 1998, something like
Hmm.
simple. But then I realized I looked down, I was like, my body figure has changed since the beginning of COVID. So although I look somewhat slim, if you look from the side view, my belly comes off over my belt buckle, therefore
Mm-hmm.
making me chunky. And so my name was Slim Dot Chunky because of it, and it caught on. Woo! There goes a menu of pizza, but Slim Chunky.
Nice.
It's a shirt, and obviously since we're dudes, 69.
Of course, the classic.
So yes, I still have that in spirit. But for TikTok wise, my purpose for TikTok, I like to perform. I took a few improv classes in high school. I took beginning acting here in college, and I like comedy stuff. I like to play a lot of voices. Make a
Hmm.
lot of noises. So I would try and make skits or find noises that I enjoyed and would like remake the noises for people. And it caught on totally accidentally. I started getting a bit of a following, And I thought it was really cool because it was like the first time I ever got a sense of like people seeing my name and beginning to know my existence.
Yeah, you had
But
your
I
own
realized,
audience.
yes. And then I realized that it was not like people our age, it was more like 12-year-olds from England just like enjoying my content. And then I feel like the more I like was like on there, the more somehow people discovered more about me. And I was like kind of skeptical out by that. And then someone was like, I got a DM from this like guy.
Yeah.
He didn't have a profile picture. His name was like Billy Bob 69 420 something like that.
Hmm.
I'm assuming he's from like the South. Not to say, not to judge, but Billy Bob, you know. Anyways,
I know where you're coming
he
from.
sent me like, yeah, he was just like, here's type this in to Google and see what happens. And I didn't really know. I'm not a huge like internet person. I didn't really know how to use it, but I figured it was like my house or something. So I
Oh.
was like, I don't know for sure. I'm not going to say like it's definite, but I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And then I felt really uncomfortable. So I was just like, uh, all right. So then I stopped actually posting.
Hmm.
Because I kind of run out of ideas. I had posted like once every day for like 3 months,
Yeah.
and then um, I was on Xbox uh, front with Jacob, another
Oh,
person
J
of
Bob.
whom
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yes, and splendid fellow. And we were just like, I was feeling, I was a little tipsy, Bud Light's getting to my
Yeah.
head, and he was like, dude, like, what if you just like deleted it? I was like, all right, like, not even thinking about it. Like right there, my headphones on and everything. I was like, beep, 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 delete, and I was like, oh, like the next morning,
Oh no.
I tried looking up the next morning if I could undelete it. Like you can like temporarily deactivate your Snapchat account. So I tried to see if you
Yeah.
can do that with TikTok, and literally the first thing that comes up is no, you cannot get it back. So I was
Oh.
like, so
I think
now
no, I found
I
out
actually,
because I was gonna send you something and I'm like, wait, where did his page go? It's gone. He deleted it.
yeah, oh, it's so gone. And
So
like,
do you still use it? Do you still like go on it to look at stuff?
unfortunately, I don't even have the app. I think I haven't even downloaded it since I deleted it. I probably could just make an account just to like look at stuff. And
Yeah.
I had my fun on it. So I think the important thing was that I already had fun in my time. And
Yeah.
TikTok's really fun to look at. So I'll probably download it again. And so then we can like send each other videos. But people still text me TikToks and I can open it from that. So
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
not like
No, I
I'm totally missing out.
no, I'm still on it. I still use it. I just kind of the same thing. It's like I don't have consistent ideas, so it's just whenever. Because you were following me when I was
Mhm.
doing all the film edits. I still do those.
Mhm.
It's just kind of I need like an idea, like a song movie matchup to like really hit for me to like commit to making it. Like they're easy for me to do. I can do them pretty quickly, but
Mhm.
I'm super like the super like perfectionist thing. It's gotta like I have to be happy with it, otherwise I'm just not gonna bother doing anything with it.
Mhm.
So yeah, um, but let's keep talking about our social media stuff. So we started on that buzz thing, and then we all hopped on Facebook in middle school.
Mhm. Oh my goodness, this was the times where we'd be like my post for TBH or something like that.
Oh, I like my status.
Yep. And
Yeah,
for
yeah,
everyone, yeah, LMS. What it was like a lot of abbreviations back then. We used
yeah.
like BRB, TTYL, things like that. I remember I did it once and like two people liked my status and like
Oh,
I was like, oh great. But yeah, I for actually one of my classes I took in sociology was us. It's called like a digital media, living in the digital age.
yeah.
It's like kind of like how us grew up using like technology
Hmm.
and Facebook. is like in other major platforms like that, uh, really kind of create a whole other identity in a human. And if you think about it, it's really cool. Like, I mean, like this, like, depending on how many likes you get on a post will like make you feel better about yourself or worse. Like, that's what happens
Yeah.
in a lot of like preteens growing up or like teens because
Hmm.
they want to have like the most likes, things like that. But they don't realize that you can just use social media for fun. I don't know. What do you think we did? Do you think were we like that? Do you think we would like try and like
Now that's a
do
good
like likes?
question. I think it like really depends on the person
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't care about the amount of likes or the numbers or anything. I was more of who was it reaching and who was appreciating what I was putting out. So,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in this day and age, a lot of people try and get a lot of followers, build an audience. Some people want it to be their job, which is like maybe not the smartest thing to like put all of your energy into. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like the idea of just doing it for fun and kind of just you can since we grew up doing all of those things, it's just natural for us to like
Yeah.
come up with clever captions and like have the pictures be edited well. Um, and what's funny is that it would be like the older generations, like our parents, who have all the the cringy ones or the pictures that look really low quality, and they're like, "How do these kids make them look so cool?" It's because we grew up with it.
Yeah.
So
And then we like it's the same thing with them. Like we look back, or like we're fascinated by the way their photos came out because it looks
yeah.
so old. And we're like, I know I've thought about it a few times. Like, what did they do when they were bored? You know, like write a message and let's send it in the mail. Like it's
Oh
really
well, they would talk on like rotary phones, like an old because our parents are '80s kids, like grew up in the '80s. So
yeah.
we I grew up with like all of their favorite movies, like Ferris Bueller and all the other John Hughes movies like that. And
Hmm.
so those are some of my favorite movies. But then I like the fact that since we're the product of '80s kids, all their kind of trends and fashion and things like that are now like coming back around for us.
Oh yeah, you can see it in some fashion, even in college. Like I don't know like what it's like at your school, but like you'll see some girls like wearing like ripped jeans with
Wait, so my internet kind of gave out. So we were just talking about like '80s fashion coming back around. You were saying like you see girls wearing like acid wash jeans and stuff like that.
yes, and like very colorful jackets like that you'd
Hmm.
see in the 80s when they went skiing and things like that, like the old
Yeah.
Patagonias.
No,
Yeah.
I love that because that's like my sense of style is like retro kind of
Hmm.
throwback things. That's kind of what I've been leaning more into, just because I would always go for things that were like fitted, just making sure all the clothes like fit and look stylish. But now I'm kind of trying to loosen it up, trying to lean into more retro things that I think are cool. Like thrifting,
Hmm.
because you like to go thrifting, right?
Yes, I have a bunch of articles of clothing from thrift stores.
Mm,
Um, and the cool thing is that everything's like $1. And you could get like a
exactly.
jean jacket for like $1.
Yeah.
It's like it's cheap and it's stylish. Like what could go not like what could be better? Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
English. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and we were talking about how we look back at our parents' stuff, like all their old camera things, because like now Polaroids and old film cameras are trendy now.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so and that's kind of one thing I was thinking a lot about is that there's like these patterns in time and trends where it's like whatever was popular kind of like the nostalgic sense comes back around for the new generation, whether it was like their parents were into it, so like they got the hints of it, so then it's our generation embraces that sort of stuff. So
Hmm.
we're we're in this kind of like neo '80s kind of. I mean, I'll look at like '70s, '80s, and '90s. They all kind of have a distinct
Yeah.
style, but it's like they all just kind of have this. I don't know, hyper texture. That's the best way I can put it. There's just a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
and it makes you
things
think.
going on.
Hmm.
It's
it
very
makes you think
stimulating.
like what would our children be wearing in like 2040?
Yeah,
You know,
because
maybe
I,
they'll be kicking back some old Lululemons that were from the 20s.
well, yeah, because the fashion sense of the 2010s, I don't know, for dudes, it was like the pants with the cinched like ankles. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Like those work for sweatpants, but then people would get like jeans and khakis that have those, and I'm like, those look terrible. Why? Why?
Like joggers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, joggers. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Like they work as sweatpants, and I think I had like one pair of dark cargo ones at one point, but nah, they no, they're not. They don't look good. No,
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop, you know?
exactly. um, so one other thing with like social media that we were doing was like we would make little YouTube sketches. We would do little and the Ski Bradford series that we did.
Oh, yeah.
So our middle school had an after school program where it would bring us to this mountain called Ski Bradford, and it's a tiny mountain. If anyone who's watching does skiing or snowboarding, it's like just a hill. It's barely a mountain.
Yeah, I heard that like other ski mountains like are offended that Ski Bradford calls himself a ski mountain because it's like a lump.
Yeah, there's
It
like
takes like a 5 minute chairlift ride to get up, and then it goes like takes 30 seconds to get down.
it's still just such a slow lift anyway.
Hmm.
But anyway, like it was fun because they just shuttled us there, and we would just spend the afternoon skiing. So I would strap on my GoPro on my helmet and just film us goobing around, and that was part of like you can see the kind of the TikTok edits I do. You can see the precursor in those because I would take dubstep Skrillex songs that we were into in middle school and sync it up, and that's what I did. I would have to like shuffle through hours of GoPro footage to find like
Hmm.
anything interesting, us doing little tricks or whatever,
Hmm.
us just
And
goofing around.
we also like I remember we filmed ourselves eating French fries and like fried dough in the lodge, things like
Oh
that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember specifically there's a clip of me shoving a French fry up my nose.
yeah.
Like,
No, we were essentially vlogging. Just
mhm.
we were in middle school, so we were what? How old? 13, 14.
Yeah, I don't, and at that time we didn't even know what vlogging was. I don't think, did we? We
Oh,
just
I
were
I
doing that.
did. I was
Yeah.
I knew what vlogging was, but it was such a like YouTube thing where it's like the
Hmm.
general public didn't really know much about it, but like there were YouTubers who were, that was their job. They had their millions of
Hmm.
followers and they were doing vlogs. But now it's like super common. It's like there's too many people trying to do vlogs and like become a successful vlogger. And
Yeah.
there's like David Dobrik where that's his whole thing. But he's been kind of getting some heat recently. Have you been keeping up with that?
Is it because he's not posting anything anymore?
No, it's like this old controversy that he had where he kind of like tricked one of his friends to like kiss Jason Nash, and then
Oh, I
yeah,
did not hear about this.
it was like an old controversy that kind of came back around because they started talking about it again. But
Hmm.
then David's the king of just ignoring his controversies and just not acknowledging them. So it's just people have been
Yep.
kind of slandering on him for that. But then also people like our age are like, "Whoa, your content is so nonchalant." Or it's just like, "Oh, okay, we get it.
Mhm.
You live in this mansion and like look at this thing you found. Cool."
Yeah, no, that's one of the scary things about becoming famous is like if something you say on the internet, gets hidden a few years later, it can come back and haunt you.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, it can really bite you in the ass when it comes to like job prospects. Like he'll be fine because he has all of his ads with his podcast and all the things like
Mhm.
that. And he just like likes being out in Hollywood. But, for more mild-mannered people like us, we should maybe be more careful in terms of the job market depending on whatever we're trying to do.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, so in like middle school, we were kind of doing Facebook, making funny little videos, and then in eighth grade, I joined the news program Channel 2 and started making skits and intro videos for that. Just kind of,
Mhm.
it was like I had a more of a purpose for making weird creative videos because I was like putting it out for the news
Mhm.
as like the morning announcements. That's what it was.
And I was always embarrassed if like it was my birthday and it'd be announced to the entire school.
Everyone would just like acknowledge you for that one day.
Yes. Or and then yep. Oh, those were good days. I forgot about Channel 2, but I remember those funny
Hmm.
intros. They were really creative.
Those are still on YouTube, yeah, and they're funny to like have and look back on because I can't like cringe at them. I'm just like that was what I thought was a good idea back when I was 12, 13, 14,
Mm.
like whatever age 8th grade was for us.
Yep.
But that's why that Bo Burnham movie 8th grade really hit. Have you ever watched that or do you like know what I'm talking about?
No, I actually have not watched a lot of Bo Burnham, which is
Yeah,
sad.
but you know he's our hometown guy, right? He's from
Yep.
Hamilton Wenham. So when 8th grade came out, me and Sam went to go see it. And first of all, the name of the middle school is the name of our middle school, the one Bo went to and that we went to. So it's mentioned in the movie. Um, and yeah, the movie is just, it's really good. It's really well made because it really captures the awkwardness of that year of 8th grade being in middle school
Yeah.
because it's so just I cringed so much because it's so accurately cringy to especially to us because it was about like it's kind of about social anxiety and how social media like fuels that just with likes and then it's about this young girl who is just posting YouTube vlogs like talking to camera type things but then you see in the like on the videos they're like barely they barely get any views they get like 10 or something views and that's the point is that it's messing with her mental health and that you just see it take a toll on her and like her comparing herself to her friends
Hmm.
so it really hit for me because that's something I did back in middle school was making content and I'm not I didn't really necessarily care about it going viral or getting big. I was just like let me try. I wasn't expecting it to do anything. It's just a fun thing to do to feel like I'm a YouTuber, which was fun as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like it just hit even harder because it's felt like it was based on me because we went to that middle school, so it's the exact same experience.
Yeah. I wonder if he based it off his experiences. Do you
Oh
think
well,
so?
yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
he got his start on YouTube, and he does like what we did. He made like little funny songs that just like actually did blow up. And then
Mhm.
he does stand up comedy, and he directed and wrote that movie. That was his first. That was his like feature.
Mhm. Can I find that somewhere on the internet? That movie?
8th grade, yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime actually. That's the last place I heard about it.
Alrighty.
Yeah. No, I definitely recommend it, and you'll watch it, and you'll cringe, and it'll like it'll hurt, but you'll be like, "This is so good, it's so accurate that it just like locks you in."
Oh, I'm very intrigued from the way you described it. I might actually have to like tonight or something watch that because
Sure, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then I guess our social media in high school was a little different. I think because a lot of us were like testing the waters with it in middle school, and then in high
Hmm.
school was like the okay, now it's time to act cool, be serious, make a cool Instagram page or whatever.
Hmm.
So high school was like Instagram, Snapchat, and Vine, I would say, in terms
Yep.
of our timeline. I didn't post any Vines, but I was super into it. Like, I kept up with a small circle of people that I thought were really funny. Um, did you? So I guess with Instagram and Snapchat and those ones, it kind of turned into less of interacting. Well, how do I put this? Instagram has gotten to the point now where it's like create your page, create your aesthetic, and Snapchat is like keep up with whoever wants to keep up with you. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like totally lost now when I use Instagram
Yeah.
because I don't really use it, and it looks like it's changed so much. So I don't exactly know how exactly to work it. Like it took me about 2 minutes to figure out how to make find the post button. Like,
Yeah, they do keep changing it, and everyone wants the chronological order,
mhm.
because they do the random order. And even I've like talked to my dad about this, where it's like just make it an option. Like, how hard is it to just like make the in order in chronological order an option?
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Um,
I don't know. Like Facebook's been kind of sketching me out because they own Instagram and a bunch of things like that. So they really try and work their algorithms to be like as manipulative as they can. So
yeah, and I know I don't know if this was you in high school, but on Snapchat, if you added a girl on Snapchat, it was like woo,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
and then you were like you'd sit there and be like, should I snap her first, or is she gonna snap me? And then if she
It's a
snaps me, does
game.
that mean
It's all a
she did?
game.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, every once in a while, I'll get a Snapchat today from my dad.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow, I totally forgot he has a Snapchat. And he'll send a photo. Like, if I tilt the camera, this is his Snapchat. So we'll just be like, and like, he's trying to use the social media that we're so used to using.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's been a fascinating thing. Snapchat has kind of stayed somewhat similar to what it was when it was created. I mean, now there's
Yeah,
streaks and all that. But the whole point of streaks is to make you keep snapping people.
yeah,
So it's that addictive thing that the app.
yeah. And I feel like it's like the older you get, the less you kind of care about Snapchat, the less you're like, I don't really do streaks anymore. Like, I don't really do streaks. I just kind of snap whoever comes up for me or whoever snaps me back. So, not something I do
Yeah.
super regularly. It's just kind of like the older you get, the more you're like, Snapchat's kind of more meant for like teenagers.
Yep. And I don't even have my notifications on for Snapchat because
Mm.
if they were on, I would always look and see like, oh, and
Yeah. Just being like glued
um,
to your phone is just not the best thing.
yeah, because like when my notifications were on, I'd have like an average of like 6 hours a day on my phone,
Hmm.
which I don't know if that's a lot or not. Maybe it was I
I don't
just
know. And that's kind of part of it is like everyone now is just, hold on. Everyone now is just kind of like addicted to their phones in some sense
Mhm.
because it's kind of like a what else do I have to do? But it's also how you like keep up with the world, keeping up with the news and everything.
Yeah.
So
We
I,
have
I don't know if
become,
addiction's the right word, but it's like a reliance.
mhm, which is exactly what the internet wants, because we are the
Exactly.
product.
Yes, our, we are the product of internet culture and like influencers like that. So like the influencers that we grew up with were like YouTube comedians and people like that. Like we grew up with Smosh and like I
Timothy
watched a
J.
little Shane
Ghetto.
Dawson. Don't know. I know he's got like his reputation, which is
Yep.
he's Shane Dawson.
Yep. David So,
Oh yeah, yeah. We'd watch David So comedy
who
and
still
like
does. Oh,
just kidding
yeah.
films.
Hmm.
I like those guys a lot. Yeah, and then like as a
Hey.
kid, there was Force Fire 101 who did Lego stop motion. So
Mhm.
since my intro to YouTube was doing Lego stop motion, like he was my big inspiration growing up.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And did you ever watch like Freddie W and Corridor Digital? Do you remember those channels?
No.
They would do
Were
like
they kind of
special effects shorts.
wait? Is that the one with like the dubstep guns? Like,
Yes, yeah, 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 those guys.
I love
Yeah,
that.
no, I still keep up with them because now they do series where they like do like VFX artists react to big movies or like movies with bad effects, or they get stunt people to like come in. So they're still active. They still like do stuff that I follow because
And
yeah, since I'm a film major in digital media, that's kind of the stuff I just like watching. So that's at this point all the kind of YouTube stuff I keep up with if I'm not
mhm.
like watching regular movies and stuff like that. Yeah, but I think one thing I want to acknowledge on the podcast here is our friend Tristan. Our friend Tristan passed away before COVID. It wasn't a COVID related thing, but he told me about this whole like plan that he had, this whole idea of how to like shortcut social media fame, success, whatever you want to call it. Um so he just had these fun ideas. He told me it was basically like, let's take our friends and like do what David Dobrik does and like do vlogs and kind of like try and connect with him and do that sort of thing. And then one other specific thing he told me was that he wanted to like connect us with some influencers to like, to date, to like be our girlfriends essentially, to kind of like have that be a thing. So what happened was is he told me all this back in like beginning of 2019, and then he passed a few months after that from a sickness. And then I suppressed that whole like memory of that whole thing he told me. And then I went through a breakup a few months ago, and then it's like it all came rushing back to me. It's like it triggered everything he told me, and I just
Mhm.
like it all was subconscious, and then I just like consciously started remembering the details. So the two people that he like picked out, one was so for himself he picked Taya Miller, who I've shown you. She does the cosplay TikToks and just Instagram and everything. Like she's a social media influencer and she does like cosplay videos. And that was one idea, was that like we should be famous cosplayers, because that's a thing I do whenever a Comic
Mhm.
Con rolls around. Um, and then so it's like he picked out her like for himself, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then
Mhm.
he picked for me Fia James, who is local to us. She like grew up in our area and lives in Boston. And he picked her because she looks like my now ex, and her comedy videos are like my same style of comedy. So I think she's
Yeah.
really funny. I really like all of her videos.
Mhm.
Um, and so during last break for us back in November and December, I decided I want to like get in contact with them somehow, and just like I want them to like, I don't know. I wanted their attention, basically. I wanted them to like acknowledge me in some way,
Mhm.
just because it's like I was doing it for Tristan. It's like in the spirit of him, because
Yeah.
that's what he wanted to do. So yeah, it's like they they both like know who I am at this point. I like would hop in their live streams and like be in the chats just as Liamology. So it's cool that they both like know who I am. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's just kind of like not much more I can do besides that. So yeah, it's
Yep.
cool that I would hop in Taya's Twitch streams and like hop in the chat, and then she would like read out my things, and I'm like, this is cool. She knows me. That's her acknowledging me. And then with
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then with Fia during break, it's like I definitely saw her in public a couple of times, but I was just like too starstruck to like go up to her and like talk to her. So it's
Mhm.
just kind of like this thing now where I'm like, if I'd ever bump into her again, I will talk to her. I just
Mhm.
in those moments I'm like, this is crazy. It's like I just like started following you again, and then I saw her. So it was really cool, but I just wish I had said
Mhm.
something at the time. So that's why I'm excited to graduate, go back home, and just kind of figure life out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm already trying to look around campus or like any places around town for a nice big box to live in somewhere. Because
Yeah, I mean we're lucky. We're lucky that we can just like go back home to our parents. Like I'm in the process of moving out of our childhood home, so it's
yeah,
my mom told me they like went to go look at a place today to rent. So yeah, but we're still gonna be in Massachusetts. So
nice.
yeah. So I'm excited to still be in our area to kind of like be with our friends.
Mhm.
Kind of reconnect with people since we're all gonna be graduating. You know, and
Mhm.
just hope this summer is gonna be better than last summer, because it was really brutal.
Yeah, hopefully there's like less COVID this summer.
Yeah, well,
Because
it's Joe's pretty confident about the vaccine getting to everyone, so
I mean, it's I guess you could say like it's mean to call something like a meanie or a dick, but COVID's been kind of a dick. Like
it's been kind of
it's
rude.
yeah, like how inconsiderate for it to affect hundreds of millions of people. Like think about it. Like come on, at least ask for consent. You know, I don't know, but hopefully, yeah, it's getting better. People are getting the vaccines. I
Yeah.
still haven't gotten my vaccine. I actually have like food allergies, and they said if you have food allergies, you'll get an allergic reaction to it.
Oh,
So I can get it, but I would
brutal.
have to get it in a hospital, so then they can like shoot me with an EpiPen right after, in case
Sure,
I have
yeah.
like an allergic reaction. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have like plans to get it?
No, well, the thing for me is like I got COVID back in January, and
Hmm.
I was like asymptomatic. I was just kind of sitting in my room, just waiting it out. Um, so like I'll get it. I'm just like I'm not gonna push myself like prioritize like I need it because I'm fine. Like I
Yeah.
survived it. It didn't really it didn't like affect me at all. So you know my priority is that everyone
Hmm.
who needs it should go get it, and then when it makes sense for me to like slide in, then yeah, I'll get it. Yeah, I'm not I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably have to get it too. Just in the right time and when I'm
Yeah.
feeling like I want an allergic reaction, then I'll get it.
Yeah, so this seems like a good point to wrap up. So thank you very much for coming on the show. I'm at this point I'm kind of doing these to like look back on and reflect since we've been doing posts online our whole childhood. It's like now that we're young adults, here's the young adult content for us to reflect back on. So,
Yes, and I appreciate you for hosting. This podcast has been a long time coming, I can tell you that. And
yeah.
I'm lucky to be on here. I can't wait to see myself because I it's very intimidating to watch myself as much as it is to create what I'm saying, as
Mm.
I'm like creating what I'm saying right now. Oh, so it's the pain, it's so philosophical. Wait, psychological. I don't know. It's one of those.
Of course. Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you all for watching, and if you want to share this around, that'd be cool. If not, I don't
Mhm.
really care. I'm just kind of posting these for fun.
All
Yeah.
righty. Yeah, thank
So
you.